KatsSouthernCharms, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing some more of our UV DTF wraps. Y'all seen me do one in the past with the gnomes and Valentine one, but we're going to use our Highland cows. We talked about this I think a little bit before, but now we're actually going to break it down and do it step by step. This one, you remember, I'm going to use some coasters. I'm going to cut her head out and put that on one coaster. It'll be her head like so. See that? And then the other two coasters will be around the design that accents or accentuates this little gorgeous cow. So that's going to be our other two little coasters for this wrap. And then for this main wrap, we're going to put it in that same size tray we used for the Valentine gnomes. And we're going to do that on this. So what I'm doing now is I'm deciding what color should I use. I asked y'all for input. Y'all gave me a lot of great input. So now we're going to implement that. For the coasters, I am going to use Let's Resin's Gardenia White, which is like a cream color. You've seen this before. We did this with the squishy that we made. But this is going to be a great color with this wrap. And then for this lighter blue, I'm going to use Eye Candy's, I'm not going to even dare to pronounce that, but you can see it. But it's a blue, and I'm going to tone it down with some white paste, which is their Satori white that I use all the time. So we're going to use just probably a toothpick dip of this blue in with some white to get this pale blue color to accent. So that's what we're going to do with the coasters. For this one, I'm going to use pixie dust, which is like a pale yellow. So we're going to use that. And definitely cinnamon. This is not cinnamon sugar, so do not eat it. It is called cinnamon sugar because that's what it looks like, but it's a mica powder. So we're going to use this with some white to tone that down as well. So we're going to use cinnamon sugar, and I haven't decided to make sage if I want to use this Aquatica by Bianca Pores. She has great micas that blend really easily with resin. Don't leave lumps behind. All of what I'm using will be linked in this video. So you can just go there if you like the colors or how it works. Click the link, it'll take you straight to the product so you can get it for yourself. But I haven't decided between this or probably a combo of both of these with white to bring out this sage color. So first things first, we need to mix up our resin. Today we're going to be using just regular Let's Resin, resin, the 1v1. No fast cure, no tabletop, no nothing like that. Just regular 1v1 Let's Resin. Y'all see me use it a lot of times before. So I'm going to go get that mixed up, measured out between our projects. Anything we have left over, we're just going to pour an extra little ring tray. Because I use these a lot to display my natural stones or gems that I am collecting. So let me measure everything out, get everything mixed up, ready to go. When we come back, we'll have our colors ready and we'll start pouring. So hang tight, grab a drink, go ahead and give us a thumbs up so other people can find it. And we'll be right back. Hey y'all, we are back. I have everything mixed up, and let's go with our coasters first. Remember, we're using our Highland Cow. We have the little baby blue. See how I did that? I have the cinnamon sugar that I added some white to bring it like a beige color, and I have my cream color. So that's what we're gonna do for the coasters. And, oop, husky hair. Wipe that off. Y'all know I keep my handy dandy wipes. But I used a little bit of Bianca's Pour, her Aquatic, and the Malachite. And you can see the ratio that I put in that resin. In our other cup, we have the pixie dust. Let me get this mixed up real quick. And y'all, this is a good color. I like this a lot. I love these micas because they just blend right in. They do such a great job. I don't have to worry about big clumps and all that in my resin. So you see that color, and we're going for those greens in there. So see that? That worked out great. Gonna stir this some more. Let it sit. Oop. Got a little bit of mica there. And now we have our pixie dust, which is like that yellow. Oop. Knocked that out too, didn't I? So we're going to stir this up, and it's kind of like a gold. But I think it's going to look really, really good with that wrap that we're using. So we're going to stir all this in. And I'm using the Let's Resin again. Alright, there we go. Get that all mixed. Look at that color, y'all. Isn't that pretty? And that's going to be very complementary to our wrap. In this video, we're talking about how to make complementary colors, right? So we have the green. I have some white here. White takes over a lot. So I have clear, and I have some more of my cinnamon. I'm going to add just a little. This is mixed up, just straight cinnamon sugar powder. So I add it in here. And as much resin as I have compared to what I added, it's really going to not make it so strong. And still give it that tint of brown that we want in our piece. So this is step one. You move all this stuff out of the way, and you see bubbles are popping as it sits here. So we're gonna let that sit a minute. I'm gonna wipe off this mold where Mica jumped out. All right, so that's good. Now I'm gonna do this two different ways. I'm gonna pour this straight from the cups onto the mold and let it do its own thing and create its own patterns. This one, I'm gonna do a dirty pour. Excuse me. And let me just grab a cup for that. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna put our cream in first. And I'm gonna do this in 2 layers. Okay, so there's our cream. I'm gonna add some of the tan, just a little bit, because I don't want it overpowering it. And then a little of this blue. Same thing there. I don't want to add a lot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a clean stick and I'm just going to go and swirl this. That's it. I'm not mixing it. I don't want it all combined. And then, oop, y'all, look at that. I did not clean this out, but that's fine because I have my wipes here. I can take all this off the edge. My bad. I didn't catch it ahead of time. I should have. Shame on me. All right, so it's all ready now. All good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour one. Put that there. And I'm going to pour the rest of this here. And pour my next round. So we're just adding some cream. Some more of the tan. And I'm going to add a little bit of that dark. And then our blue. Okay. Ugh, my nose is running away, y'all. And then I'm just going to swirl it around, not mixing it. See that? And then I'm going to pour up high. So we get these little different variations when this comes out. Alright. We're going to let that one go. And then, let's just pour it in here. That. Done with that. And I'm going to show y'all a traditional dirty pour. You see I'm pouring it down the side of the cup. And I'm going to add, again, a little of that darker brown and a little of the darker blue. And that's it. Now, I'm going to pour this out, holding it up high, and look at all of that contrast. Okay, so I'm going to leave those like they are. I'm going to, let me just set it over here so it's out of the way. All right, we'll set that there for now. Now, for this, I am going to pour this differently. Can you see that? Can you see the whole thing? Good, okay. So, I am going to pour this in layers. So I'll pour some gold over here, or pixie, whatever you want to call it, like so. Then I'm going to do my green. Like that. And I want to do my white. And remember, white can really take over if you're not careful. And now we're going to do that tint of beige or brown that's in that clear. Just give it that little tint, right? All right, just going to get that out. Done with that cup. And before I go any further, I'm going to go down the sides here. I want to make sure that if there's any bubbles hiding out, okay, and I'm going to stir this just to make some little designs. Okay, there we go. We have that. I'm gonna move that out of the way. I'm going to do some more gold. You know, aren't these cool? I really like these colors together. The sage green. And I'm just gonna stripe it like so. Okay, so we're done with that. And then, let's do some more white, but I want to just cut it in like so. You can make little designs, little patterns, whatever you want to do. Okay, remember we're going to put a wrap over this. Well, when I put this over, it's going to be on the bottom of this. So let's just run some white along our clear areas here. All right, now I am going to pour clear to finish this off because I really want this to be see-through, and I want to top this off and let the resin do its own thing, because y'all know I put mica in here. What we see now is not what we're going to see when this is cured, because the mica is going to move around, and that's okay. We want that. So we're going to wipe up our little edges here, do some cleanup, just like so, and we're going to let these sit. So we are done pouring, y'all. It's just that easy. The colors complement each other very well. We have that tan background that I really wanted. I'm going to take my glove off. To accent this with our coasters, those colors are going to look great with this wrap when I cut it up. And this is going to look very good with those colors. Once everything cures, flip it over, throw this in my handy dandy trash. And remember what I told you guys, do not use fire to pop bubbles. I will be spraying this with my 99% alcohol. This is what I use. I use 99% isopropyl alcohol to pop my bubbles. And I think, yep, that is my soap. We're not messing that up again. Leave me a comment. Do you remember when I made that mistake? Raise your hand. Give me a thumbs up if you remember that blooper. Ugh, that was so bad, y'all. But I'm glad I could help you all learn from my mistakes. And I'll have to find my bottle because I don't have it sitting right here. Anyway, all we're going to do, we're going to spray this with some isopropyl alcohol to take care of any bubbles that are coming to the surface. I'm leaving a little area in these coasters because I'm doing this one different than this one. My coasters I want to build from the bottom up. In this tray, once it's cured, we're going to flip it over and then apply our wrap. On these, we're going to apply the wrap right on top of what we see now. And then I will come back and pour a clear coat over the wrap to protect it. But for now, y'all, this is what we got. And you can see Mica's already moving around. So grab a drink. When we come back, we're going to be putting these little girls on their new homes. I'll see you in a few. Hey, y'all, we're back. These are all ready. We need to add our beautiful little girls to this tray. But first, I went ahead and snuck because I wanted to add my final clear coat over these coasters. You can see that what I did is I cut out on the wrap itself. I cut out these little accent pieces for our coasters. We're going to take them out because I poured a clear coat over to protect them. And remember, I built this from bottom up, so the back side, you can see that. I actually like that's the bottom. And here's the top with our clear coat over. So that's one coaster. Did the same thing with the others. Move that to the side. We used the little accent pieces and added that to the coaster. Here's our back. Kind of cool. And then here's our pretty little girl. We made the center of this little trio. And we added, you can see we added the clear. But isn't she beautiful, y'all? Look at that girl. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So we have our three coasters there. Here's our little extra that I made with leftover resin. Let's get this little tray out. And remember I said that I made this because I like these little ring trays for my, well, that nab doesn't want to let go. Alright. Y'all, there. Goodness gracious alive. So we'll have to do some trimming of the bottom piece of the tray. See how it's, and that's fine because I can trim it with my cuticle scissors, or I can just sand it down. No big deal. Let me get this mold out of the way. And here is, oh, look at that, y'all. Isn't that cool? I love these random effects with glitter and mica. Y'all, that's really pretty. I like that. So that was just an extra one. Now let's get our big piece out. And I love this mold because it's the thick silicone. It's not really thin. And I will have to trim these edges because they're sharp. Alright, let's set that mold out of the way. Alright, so we can trim these pieces off. Look at the back, isn't that pretty? Alright. Oh, I love it. Look at that, y'all. All the little whimsical waves of white. And you can see on the side. Do you see that part? Up the side here. Isn't that pretty? It looks like waves, doesn't it? Anyway, so we have that done, and we have our piece, and I'm going to trim this top row off, all the little flowers, because I want these put there good. And I'm going to take this backing off, so you see what I'm doing. Taking the backing off. Y'all, this is always the worst part, isn't it? Trying to separate this backing from the front piece. And remember, y'all, this is multiple pieces. I took the backing off, and now we have our transfer tape and our actual little stickers. And I'm gonna eyeball this like so. And I'm going to smooth it down so we don't have any air bubbles. And then I'm going to take my stick and I'm going to smooth this down like so to make sure all of our little sticky part gets added. Okay. And then I'm going to pull up our clear transfer. Oh, I can get it started. There we go. So we're going to pull up our clear transfer, and once I get it all started, I'll show you what I mean. There we go. See that? This clear comes off the actual piece that's going to stay. And I'm going to slowly pull it this way and make sure that all of this stays down. Perfect. There we go. We're all done with that piece. Can go in my handy dandy trash. But there's our adorable Highland cows, y'all. Super adorable. And let me grab, sorry about that. We're back. I have real quartz crystals that I can add here along our little piece. So we have real quartz crystals as an accent, and I can take my little baby spoon and attach them over to the side to highlight our little baby cows, our Highland cows. And there we go. What I will do is I'm going to add clear resin like I did over this in here to protect our stickers and allow me to attach these crystals in place to hold them there. And y'all, isn't that a beautiful piece? Look at that. Real quartz crystals. Get all the pizzazz and extra little glam from those. But isn't this awesome? I'm so proud of this. This really turned out good. I love the accents on the sides. I want to dig these little crystals out pour them down here and pour them back in to my little jar. And I can use them once I add my clear so we don't miss any of that. But y'all, look at the sides of this. See all the reaction with the crystal, the resin and the mica and the pigment powders and the pigment paste. Look at that pixie. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, y'all, so we're done. The only thing we have left is the little clear protection on the bottom, add some real crystal highlights, and we have another project that is complete. What did you think? Do you think these colors accent the wraps? What do you think about that? I really love this, y'all. These turned out way better than I was expecting. So adorable. Are you gonna try this yourself? Leave me a comment below. Give me all your feedback. Would you change colors? Which do you like better? Do you like the more neutral tones? Do you like that we added some sage and some yellows in here, the pixie dust, with the white, the way it interacts? Anyway, we're done with this project, y'all. That means we're moving on to a new one, but you have to give us a thumbs up, click that subscribe button so you don't miss when we upload our next project. And it may include some hints or some pro tips, things like that that you have been waiting to see or that you've been looking for answers to. If you do have questions, if you want to see a technique, you're confused about something, leave me a comment below and tell me what is it. And you may be surprised. It might just be one of our next projects that we tackle. But until next time, y'all, happy arting. Ta-ta for now.